Hello again, Brad here from stitchcounts.com. Today's tutorial we're going to look at the Stitch Count Studio section. There's a couple of things that you need to make sure that you do to ensure that you're getting an accurate stitch count, and I'll take you through the steps one by one. So what we've done here, we've come into the Stitch Count Studio section. We've chosen a product, so today we'll look at the cap here, and first thing we need to do is upload the logo. Now let's have a look at this logo here. So this is a good example of a logo here. This one actually doesn't have a background. It doesn't have a white or a black background here. But what you'll see is this yellow box is, there's a fair bit of space between the edges of the logo like this here and here. Now, when you're resizing the logo on the product, this is very important because when you go to look at the actual size, let's say we wanted to have this logo at 100mm wide on a cap. Okay, so we've manually entered our 100mm, but what's happened here is it's actually taken the yellow box to the 100mm. The actual logo itself is not 100mm. So very important, even if the logo does not have a white background, the very first step in every scenario when you're using the stitch count function is to remove the background on the floating toolbar, and you'll see that the yellow box now will come down, reduce in size, and hug the logo like that. Okay, so now if we need to have the logo again at 100mm wide, we know that this is the actual logo itself is 100mm wide now in its true form. So that way you will get an accurate stitch count when you go to use the get stitch count function, and you'll see now that we have a stitch count estimation of 3,680 odd stitches for this particular logo. Now let's have a look at another example here. Okay, this one doesn't have a background either. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, so this one definitely has a white background, as you can see, so you definitely want to get rid of that. Now the system, if you leave that in place, let's just get it down to a size like this. If you leave that in place and you calculate the stitch count here, okay, that's going to incorporate all of the stitches, all of the white area. It's going to think it's a big white block with an overlay here. So you've obviously got quite a substantial stitch count on that logo. So what we need to do is remove the background on this one. So click on the remove background button. And you'll see now the system has left in place a little bit of white, so we want to clear that out as well because we don't want the system to think that that's stitches. So if you use the remove background section again and just click on the remove all button, essentially that's saying to the system, I want to remove all of the white from within this yellow box. And we click on the remove background button again, and you can see now that it's all cleared away. So you can manually resize the logo again on the cap with the corners, or you can input it manually from here if you wanted to say take it to a max size for a local embroidery, for instance, which is a usually 58mm high for most embroiderers, and then go ahead and click the get stitch count button, and we'll get our stitch count estimation of 6,500 stitches for this particular logo at 58mm high. Thanks guys, I hope that clears up a couple of things when you're getting an accurate stitch count estimation on stitchcounts.com. Hope to see you on the app soon.